Good people, we are listening to Deadline, a song from my next guest, Geza Keller. Geza, welcome to the show. Thank you for coming on.
Hi, Catherine. Thanks for having me.
Congratulations on this new release. I'm super excited. I am a huge fan of the studio known as Kitsch and Sink and the genius behind said space. So when he introduced me to you, I was so excited to get some of your music in my ears. So first of all, tell me about yourself. Are you from San Diego originally?
I've been living in San Diego since 1988. I went to high school in Sacramento and then went off to college in New Mexico.
Ooh, New
And from there, I
Mexico.
moved to New York and then back to California.
Beautiful. So, what kind of science?
Lasers and optics. I
Nice.
do a lot of work. We do a lot of work for JPL. We have stuff up in space. We do different coatings for different optics that you see that are part of your life, like the atmospheric satellites, things like that.
Yay! I love science. So that's that side of your brain. And then when did you start making music?
I started playing guitar after my dad brought Gabor Szabo to our house when I was 10 because he's Hungarian. And so my dad was a big fan. And there used to be a place called the Birdcage in Sacramento that Gabor would play at. And so we made the best paprikash in Sacramento. And so my dad invited him over. And I
That's
started
great.
playing from there. And then I was very fortunate to actually take lessons from Danny Schmidt, who is Timothy B. Schmidt's father.
Okay. Incredible. Very nice. Let's jump ahead to this latest collection of songs. Got Nothing to Lose. And I know that this project is dedicated to your college roommate. Tell me a little bit about Victor.
I met Victor in 1973 at New Mexico Tech in a small school in Socorro, New Mexico, where at the time the enrollment was probably about 950 people. And so you get to know people very well quickly because you take classes with 3 or 4 people at a time. And so Victor had the GI Bill and came to Tech to get a general education degree. And so we ended up being roommates and we had, I would say, a lot of fun being roommates, but we both shared a lot of um, things about humor. We like the Marx Brothers and things like that. So there's a story about us doing a joke in one of our calculus classes where he said, "Hey, come on in. I want you to tell me what a vessel is, and then I want you to do. I know what a vessel is," and I started whistling right after that. I didn't
Uh,
streak the cafeteria with him, so Victor was a crack up, and he was always, if you ever get a chance to read the stories from his wife about him being a pilot and coming out on the plane when there was delays, he'd come out and crack jokes, and he would actually talk to all his people flying with him. So Victor was a great guy. And then we went our separate ways. He told me he had a passion for jets, and then he left for school and went to Texas Air Base, and from that point on, he became a commercial pilot. And then the last time I saw him, I heard from him just when I started this business, because I started this business about 30 years ago. I had just moved into my new home, and I was like everybody watching the news that morning. And then that night when I came home, I was in my kitchen because the living room was being rebuilt, and it came on in the news at 10:30, and I heard that. And I said to my wife at the time, I said, one of us just left the planet. And that's because we're all very close and tight at New Mexico Tech.
yeah.
So it was that kind of day, and that's how I got the title of the song that day, which churned into from working with Swen into Got Nothing to Lose.
What a beautiful tribute. Tell me
Well, it's a
about.
tribute and a call for action. You know, our lives are all upside down right now. You know, climate change, the political divide, all those things. So hopefully, the message from the song, which is we are at childhood's end, it's time to do something. And so hopefully that message will come across besides the tribute. And I've been raising money for Victor for 20 years. We have a scholarship in his name, and it's got over $80,000 in it. So all the sales on September 11th go to that, and then $1 from every album after that, we'll go to that scholarship fund.
Wonderful. So you are releasing, celebrating the release of this collection of songs on September 11th. Tell me about that show.
Well, the same thing. It's a fundraiser for the night, and it's, if the album was put together by Jerry and Swen and I, there were no studio musicians. And from that point on, because it was during COVID, the whole idea was, and I said to Jerry and Swen when we started the album, I said, well, let's make it like a Steely Dan album, and then we'll put a band together and see what happens. And so that's what this show is about, is that, not only is it a tribute, but it's been kind of a magic journey from the time we started. I've been trying to do this for a long time, and it was never really right. And then, I tried to do this with Swen a couple of years before, and then we went off on a different path to do some other songs. And then I told Jerry, I said, well, we're not getting any younger. Let's do the album.
Yeah.
And so that's how it started. And it's been great. And, Swen and Jerry are in the band. We've got some great people, with Adrian Nims and John Simons and Jack Nathan. They're great players. They all play around town.
Yeah.
And we're just been having fun. So that's what this show is going to be about.
Very cool. And where's it at?
It's at Aztec Brewery
Okay.
in Vista.
Love
And
it.
that's part of the magic, is that's where I met Jerry at one of the Aztec Blues Jams. And I've gotten to know the owner very well. And so we've become friends. And so the whole thing, plus we've been trying to shoot videos there too. So it's been a lot of fun.
Very cool. So if people cannot attend this release on September 11th, where can they buy the album?
Well, once I straighten out the stuff with CD Baby and the royalties, it'll probably go through Here Now and through CD Baby, because I'm
Okay.
going to use their app instead of, trying to do it myself. But you can purchase the album or a download through my website at gezakeller.com.
Okay, perfect. And then what's coming up on the horizon? What are your future goals?
Well, we've already talked about a second album. I mean, the goal here, we're shooting a lot of video, and I think that, all of us, part of the whole draw is that we're all kind of geriatrics, but we're not. We still want to live. And so I think we're going to try to use that to promote the band and see what happens.
Yeah.
And like everybody who's trying to get out there and promote something, you got to have content. And so that's what we've been working on.
Beautiful.
And for the next month, that's what we're going to spend our time doing. And then, my marketing plan has worked out fairly well so far. So we're going to stick with that. And we're going to try to just keep putting things out. And we have one more showcase at the end of the month. And then I need to travel, and everybody else needs to take a break and do something. And then after that, we'll see what happens.
I like it. Good plan, sir. Okay, well, we are going to play a song off the new collection. What song, and can you tell me about what the song is about?
Got Nothing to Lose was originally called That Day. And it was written in the perspective of someone who wouldn't be there to explain what happened on 9/11. And so the whole story has been, and then it was an homage to our friendship. And so when we finally did the recording, and I did my part, and then Jerry came in and did one of the other guitar fills, and I wasn't there, Swen sent me an email saying, there's much more to this song than just that day. There's a message here. And so that's been part of the joy of it, is that the message to get out is just what we want people to do, is that, live your life to the fullest, live like there's no tomorrow, and make sure that you do the right things. And so that's what that song means to me. And that's what you'll hear in the lyrics.
All right, beautiful. All right, good people, get yourself to Aztec Brewery. That's is that in Vista?
Vista.
All right.
Off Sycamore.
And what time will you be performing?
There's an opening act with Rob LaMonica Trio at 6:30.
Wow.
And then we go on at 7:30.
Okay, awesome.
And we're playing the whole album.
In its entirety, I love that. Okay, wonderful. It's going to be a
I'm
great
up.
show. Thank you so much, Geza, for sharing these songs and that story with us. And have a great show.
What can you say? It took 2 hours for the world something to prove every day. We make the rules. Let's find a new way. Feeling alive, thinking back to 75. How did we know where all the time would go? Got nothing to lose but to live every day. We make the rules. Let's find a new way. We got something to prove every day. Let's change all the rules and find a new way. Got nothing to lose but to live